Hello, fashion enthusiasts. You're welcome to TF Designs. I'm TIA, and today I'm going to be showing you how I made this beautiful circle dress from an old gele fabric. So this is sort of DIY. You can do it yourself, but then I think you need basic knowledge on how to draw a pattern, the front and the back pattern, basically. So I'm going to be making use of this beautiful gele fabric, and gele fabric is from the Yoruba tribe in Nigeria, and it is worn on traditional wear. I'm going to be making use of these two fabric, as you can see, shade of pink, and this is a fabric that has a little bit of structure, and it is usually used as a headgear. So I discovered my mom has many of these that she's not using at home, and they're just sitting there idly. So I had to ask her, and she gave me some fabrics just to do whatever I want with them. She does not want to throw them out because, of course, this was bought with money. So I decided to become creative about this, and this is what led to the circle dress. So now what I'm going to do here is to insert my waist measurements, which is 28, add 1 inch. This is for the seam sewing allowance at the side, divided by 3.14. Whatever you have as your answer, you are going to be taking 0.25 out of it, and you are going to be marking it down. So I had 9.23 for my after dividing, but as you can see, I'm marking 9 directly on this folded triangle, as you can see. So now what I'm going to do now is to just mark that 9 down, and after that I went down to determine my length from that marked point on this triangular part. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to mark this dotted part already, the marked lines, just join them together using my curved side on my pattern master. This is just to help me have something accurate, an accurate curve, something like that. So I went on to do the same for the upper part, and after I'm done marking, and I'm going to be cutting, as you can see, now I'm going to be cutting two of these pieces for the front and for the back. So this is for the front. Now for the back, I'm just going ahead to fold, and I've done that. And if you notice, I left about 1.25 inches for seam, for zipper allowance rather, on the back part. So I'm just going to cut exactly what I cut in front for the back, except for the zipper allowance that are added. I also went on to divide my back skirt pattern into two. So as you can see, I'm just putting the back, I'm aligning them together, and I'll be sewing on that side and on the other side. So after doing that, I'm going to be joining the two to have a zipper line. So I also went on with my back pattern. I already have a tutorial on this. I'll be putting the link in the description. I'm just going to trace this out. As you can see, nothing is changing here except for the neckline that I'm going to be altering. And also I'll be adding seam allowance basically to the side seam and also to the lower part of the back pattern. So I just indicated my dot point, then I went on to add my 1 inch seam allowance on the side and 0.5 inch seam allowance on the lower part, because I'll be joining these to the skirts that we've cut out. So after doing this, I just went in with my ruler to highlight the line, and so that I'm going to be able to cut properly when I start to cut. I also went on to make my dots visible. So I had to outline this on the front and on the two sides of the pattern. So now, yeah, I'm just going to alter this neck. I'm going to be doing a V-neck. I don't know, these days I'm getting used to V-neck lines. I need to change this. So I'm just going to be making a V-neck. You can do any depth you want. I'm not changing the neck width, just the neck depth for the back pattern. So I'm satisfied with this. I just went in with my scissors and I cut this out. Now I'm cutting this back pattern on fold. So I'm going to be having two pieces at the end of the day. And I forgot to tell you, I just used about 1.5 yard, that is 1.5 yard for this colored fabric, and the other colored, which is the deep, like the pink, I used 1 yard. So now to the front pattern, I'm tracing this front pattern on another pattern paper with my tracing wheel, because of course this one is just like my working pattern. So after I'm done tracing, take your time to trace, and I'm just highlighting it with a marker so that it can become visible to you. So the next thing I'm going to do is to make slight curve around the bust region so that I will not have pointed edges when I'm sewing in my princess seam. So this is just like a princess, princess seam. And look at the way I'm cutting. Pay attention to this, please. For the front, I'm not cutting directly. I'm going to also alter the neckline, the neck depth rather. So for the neck depth, I came down by 10 inches. Okay, so I came down by 10 inches, and I'm also going to be making use of a v-neck. My love for v-neck is not from here. Okay, so after I'm done with that, I'm just going to cut out the parts that I don't need anymore, as you can see. If you notice, I did not add any seam allowance to this pattern, but I'll be adding seam allowance when I'm cutting on fabric. So for the front, you cut on fold, as you can see, and for the side, you cut two piece. So on the side now, yeah, I am adding seam allowance about 1 inch to the side and 0.5 inch to every other part except the shoulder tip. After I'm done with that, here's it. I have two pieces, as you can see. So the side is ready. The next is the front. And for the front, you see I'm cutting it on the other colored fabric. And I added just 0.5 inch on the lower side and on the other side. So this is my bow. I just cut out a rectangle, 18 inches by 15 inches. As you can see, I'll be sewing round, leaving a small space to pull through to just form my bow. Now, I also went ahead, it's time to sew. I went ahead to pin down my princess seam. I had to pin this down, and it's very advisable you pin this down. If you notice, I'm not using any interfacing on this particular fabric. Reason being, this fabric is a little bit structured, so I don't need to add any interface for me to have that other place, that princess seam to be really fitted. So I'm not adding any princess seam. So after sewing the front princess seam, I went to the back and sewed the dart, as you can see, and I always tie my darts. This help your work look more neat and sleeps well. So I also cut out a facing for the front pattern, just a v-neck about 2.5 inches. And I'm just sewing in my facing, right side facing right side on the front pattern. And after this, I'm just going to flip over. I try to notch. I notch before flipping over, then I flip over, then I top stitch on that particular facing. So I also went to the back, taking about 0.5 inch from the seam, and I sewed this down on each side. I already showed you how I'm going to sew this earlier. So I went to the back, like I said, the skirt area, then I just sewed this down. So I've joined the two pieces together with the back pattern for the skirt. So now the next thing I'm going to do from this point is to put in my facing right side for the back pattern. Like I said, there's no interfacing or anything on this particular fabric, being that it's a structured fabric. It has a little bit of structure, not really strong, but then it has a little bit of structure. I also went in to indicate my zipper allowance after joining the back, putting the two back pieces together, so that I'm going to be able to pin this down, and after which I'm going to be joining my shoulder together to be able to join the front and the back pattern. So at this point, I would suggest you make use of your iron to press down your seam, your facing, so that everything is going to be neat and all put together. So as you can see, this is my front. I'm trying to join my shoulder, my back and my front shoulder together. And if at this point you have a serger or a weaving machine, it's best you do that, but I don't have one. So I'm going to be weaving this after I'm done totally with this outfit. So as you can see, it's advisable you just weave or use your serger for all those edges that is frailing. So now for the armhole, this is a sleeveless gown. So I'm going to cut a bias. I'm just measuring to know the amount of bias I'm going to be using to turn this. So now the next thing I'm going to do now is to join my upper and my lower part together. And I'm going to be pinning the side seam. If what you measured is correct, then your side seam should be properly aligned. And mine is aligned, as you can see. So I'm just pinning this. I love to pin these things down. It just makes work very easy for me and help me know if I'm accurate or not. So I pin everything down, the back, the front. I had a little bit of extra on the skirt pattern, on the zipper part, so I just trimmed that off when I was through. So yeah, I'm just sewing. Please, if you have a serger, like I say, do well to, weave this particular outfit on the inside. It frays a lot. This particular gele, it frays a lot. And if you have a pinking shear or scissors, you can use that. So the next thing I want to do now is to join the zipper part. As you can see, I created a crease with my iron, and after joining that particular zipper part, this is what I have. I left some space for my zip, and I'll just go ahead to insert my zip. I'm not going to be showing you that here, but probably in one of my tutorials, I will definitely do that. Also, I'm going to be covering this with my bias. I'm not showing that here today, but the tutorial will definitely come up soon. Also, when down, you can decide to fold in, or you can decide to just do whatever you like on the lower parts. If your fabric does not fray, you can leave it. So now, after sewing in my rectangle on the inside and pulling it out, this is my bow, and I did not add any interface into this bow. So it's a structured fabric. That is why it's very, very stable and stiff, as you can see. So yeah, I was thinking of putting my bow at the back, but I later changed my mind to be in front, for it to be in front. And that's it, fam. As you can see, with the bow in front, I love this look. And the bow is detachable. Without the bow, this is just me with my belt and my bag. What do you think of this outfit? Do let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Now, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I love you all. See you in my next video. Bye.